We propose to facilitate higher investment in affordable housing, and affordable housing will now be given infrastructure status, which enables those projects to avail the associated benefits. The National Housing Bank will refinance individual housing loans of rupees 20,000 crores in 2017 and 18. Thanks to the surplus liquidity created by demonetization, the banks have already started reducing their lending rates, including those for housing. In addition, interest subvention for housing loans has been announced by the Honorable Prime Minister. Poverty is usually associated with poor health. It is the poor who suffer the maximum from various chronic diseases. Government has therefore prepared an action plan to eliminate Kala Azar and filariasis by 2017, leprosy by 2018, and measles by 2020. Elimination of tuberculosis by 2025 is also targeted. Similarly, action has been prepared to reduce the IMR from 39 in 2014 to 28 in 2019, MMR from 167 in 2011 to 13 to 100 by 2018-20. 1.5 lakh health sub-centers will be transformed into health wellness centers. We need to ensure adequate availability of specialist doctors to strengthen the secondary and the tertiary levels of health care. We have therefore decided to take steps to create an additional 5,000 postgraduate seats per annum. In addition, steps will also be taken to roll out the DNB courses in the big district hospitals, strengthen postgraduate training in the select ESI and municipal corporation hospitals, and encourage reputed private hospitals to start the DNB courses. We will work with the state government to take this task forward. The government is also committed to take necessary steps for structural transformation of the regulatory framework of the medical education and practice in India. 2 new All India Institute of Medical Sciences will be set up in the states of Jharkhand and Gujarat. We propose to amend the drugs and cosmetic rules to ensure availability of drugs at reasonable prices, to ensure the use of generic medicines. New rules regarding medical devices will be formulated. These rules will be internationally harmonized and attract investment into this sector. This will reduce the cost of such devices. We have been keen to foster a conducive labor environment wherein labor rights are protected and harmonious labor relations leads to higher productivity. Legislative reforms will be undertaken to simplify, rationalize, and amalgamate existing labor laws into 4 codes: 1 wages, 2 industrial relations, 3 social security and welfare, and 4 safety and working conditions. The Model SOP and Establishment Bill 2016 has been circulated to all states for consideration and adoption. This would open up additional avenues of employment for women. The amendments made to the Payment of Wages Act is another initiative of our government for the benefit of the labor and the ease of doing business. Our government is committed. Our government is giving special importance to the implementation of schemes for the welfare of scheduled castes, scheduled tribe and minorities. The allocation of the scheduled caste has been stepped up from rupees 38,833 crores in the budget estimate of 2016-17 to 52,393. इससे मैडम 35% इंक्रीज SC allocation का इस बजट में है. The allocation of scheduled tribes has been increased to 31,920 crores and minority affairs to 4,195 crores. The budget will introduce outcome-based monitoring of expenditure in these sectors by the Niti Aayog. For senior citizens, Aadhaar-based smart cards containing their health details will be introduced. A beginning will be made through the pilot in 15 districts during 2017-18. The LIC will be implement a scheme of senior citizens to provide an assured pension with a guaranteed return of 8% per annum for 10 years. The fifth component of the TEC agenda is infrastructure. Railways, roads and rivers are the lifeline of the country. I feel privileged to present the first combined budget of independent India that includes the railways also. We are now in a position to synergize the investment in railways, roads, waterways and civil aviation. For 2017-18, the total capital and development expenditure of railways has been pegged at 1,31,000 crores. This includes 55,000 crores provided by the government from the budget. Amongst other things, the railways will focus on 4 major areas. 1, passenger safety. 2, capital and development works. 3, cleanliness. And 4, financial and accounting reforms. For passenger safety, a rail Sanraksha Kosh will be created, a safety fund, with a corpus of rupees 1 lakh crores over a period of 5 years. Besides seed capital from the government, the railways will arrange the balance from its own resource avenues and other sources. The government will lay down clear-cut guidelines for timeline for implementation of various safety works to be funded from this course. Unmanned level crossings on broad gauge lines will be eliminated by 2020. Expert international assistance will be harnessed to improve safety preparedness and maintenance practices. In the next 3 years, throughout it is proposed to, the throughput is proposed to be enhanced by 10%. This will be done through modernization, upgradation of identified corridors. Railway lines of 3,500 kilometers will be commissioned in 2017-18 as against 2,800 kilometers in 16-17. Steps will be taken to launch dedicated trains of tourism and pilgrimage. Railways have put up joint ventures with 9 state governments. 70 projects have been identified for construction and development. A beginning has been made with regard to the station redevelopment. At least 25 stations are expected to be awarded during 17-18 for station redevelopment. 500 stations will be made differently abled friendly by providing lifts and escalators. It is proposed to feed around 7,000 stations with solar power in the medium term. A beginning has already been made in 300 stations. Work will be taken up for 2,000 railway stations as a part of the 1,000 megawatt solar mission. Our focus is on Swachh Railways. SMS-based Clean My Coach service has been started. It is now proposed to introduce a Coach Mitra facility, a single FINDO interface to register all coach-related complaints and requirements. By 2019, all coaches of Indian Railways will be fitted with biotoilets. Pilot plants for environment-friendly disposal of solid waste and conversion of biodegradable waste and to energy are being set up at New Delhi and Jaipur railway stations. 5 more such solid waste management plants are now being taken up. Today, Indian Railways faces stiff competition from other modes of transport which are dominated by private sector modes of transportation. Transformative measures have to be undertaken to make Indian Railways competitive and to retain their position and preeminence. The following steps will therefore be taken. 1. Railways will implement end-to-end integrated transport solutions for selected commodities through partnership with logistic players who would provide both front and back-end connectivity. Rolling stock and practices will be customed to transport perishable goods, especially agricultural products. 2. Railways will offer competitive ticket booking facility to the public at large. Service charges on e-tickets booked through IRCTC will be withdrawn. Cashless reservations have gone up from 58% to 68%. As a part of accounting reforms, accrual-based financial statements will be rolled out by March 2019. It will now be our continuous endeavor to improve the operating ratio of the railways. The tariffs of the railways would be fixed taking into consideration costs, quality of service, social obligation and competition from other forms of transport. Metro rail is emerging as an important mode of urban transportation. A new metro rail policy will be announced with focus on innovative models of implementation and financing, as well as standardization and indigenization of hardware and software. This will open up new job opportunities for our youth. A new Metro Rail Act has been enacted by rationalizing the existing laws. This will facilitate greater private participation and investment in construction and operation. In the road sector, I have stepped up the budget allocation for the national highways from 57,676 crores in the BE of 16-17 to 64,000 crores in 2017-18. 2,000 kilometers of coastal connectivity roads have been identified for construction and development. This will facilitate better connectivity with ports and remote villages. The total length of roads, including those under the PMGSY, built from 2014-15 till the current year is about 1,40,000 kilometers, which is significantly higher than the previous 3 years. An effective multimodal logistics and transport system will make our economy more competitive. A specific program for development of multimodal logistic parks together with multimodal transport facilities will be drawn up and implemented. Selected airports in Tier 2 cities will be taken up for operation and management in the PPP mode. Airport Authority of India Act will be amended to enable effective monetization of land assets. The resources so raised will be utilized for airport upgradation. For the transport sector as a whole, including railways, road, shipping, I have provided rupees 2,41,387 crores in 2017-18. The magnitude of investment will spur a huge amount of economic activity in the country and create more job opportunities. Telecom sector is an important component of our infrastructure system. The recent spectrum auctions have removed the spectrum scarcity in the country. This will give a major fillip to mobilize broadband and digital India for the benefit of people living in rural and remote areas. Under the BharatNet project, OFC has been laid in 1,55,000 kilometers. I have stepped up the allocation of BharatNet project to rupees 10,000 crores in 17-18. By the end of 17-18, high-speed broadband connectivity on optic fiber will be available in more than 1,50,000 gram panchayats with a hotspot and access to digital services at low tariffs. A DigiGaon initiative will be launched to provide telemedicine, education and skills through digital technology. For strengthening our energy sector, the government has decided to set up strategic crude oil reserves. In the first phase, 3 such reserve facilities have been set up. Now in the second phase, it is proposed to set up caverns at 2 more locations, namely Chandiya Kahol in Odisha and Bikaner in Rajasthan. This will take our strategic reserves capacity to 15.33 MMT. In solar energy, we now propose to take up the second phase of solar power development for additional 20,000 megawatt capacity. We are also creating an ecosystem to make India a global hub for electronics manufacture. over 250 investment proposals for electronic manufacturers have been received in the last 2 years, totaling an investment of rupees 1,26,000 crores. A number of global leaders and mobile manufacturers have set up production facilities in India. I have therefore exponentially increased the allocation and incentives of schemes like MSIPS and EDF to 745 crores in 17-18. This is an all-time high. We have also to focus on our export infrastructure in the competitive world. A new restructured central scheme, namely the Trade Infrastructure Export Scheme, will be launched in 17-18. The total allocation, Madam, ये महत्व का विषय है, the total allocation for infrastructure for 2017-18 stands at a record level of rupees 3,96,135.